John Boehner gave an interview to Stanford University, and he had some strong words for Ted Cruz. He called him, quote, Lucifer in the flesh, and he went on to say, I have Democrat friends and Republican friends. I get along with almost everyone, but I have never worked with a more miserable son of a bitch in my life. Goddamn. All right, so there's a few different angles to this story here. Now, one thing that some of the articles brought up is that it actually used to be the case that Ted Cruz was John Boehner's lawyer. So, and Ted Cruz actually said in response to this, I've almost never spoken to Boehner in my life. Like, I've said maybe 50 words to him in my life, and that's it. So, you know, he said something stupid like, if him calling me Lucifer means he's calling all of you real conservatives Lucifer. No, you fucking made that up because you're a smarmy son of a bitch. And Ted Cruz is just a liar. Like, it's on record that he was Boehner's lawyer for a certain amount of time. So obviously you spoke more than 50 words together. Why are you being stupid? Like, you just make stuff up, shamelessly make stuff up. So maybe there's a personal aspect to this because there maybe something went on in that, you know, lawyer-client relationship there where Boehner was like, you're bad at this, or you fucked me over in way X, Y, or Z. So there might be an angle to this that none of us can really put our finger on because we don't know the details of what happened with that. But then there's also a different reason for this as to why Boehner absolutely despises Ted Cruz with every fiber of his being, because Boehner is, I mean, the quintessential establishment Republican. So Boehner, basically his entire existence as a politician was to 100% sell out to his donors and sell out to Wall Street. There's that old famous story of John Boehner literally walking around Congress handing out checks from the tobacco lobby to the people who sufficiently sold out. So this guy is just a total and utter sellout. That's his whole existence. He has no core. He has no principles. He has no ideology. He has no philosophy. What do my donors want? I'm going to do it, and that's it. And he thinks that's keeping it real, and that's the way the system is. And if you don't go in that direction, well, you know, then you're an asshole and you're Lucifer, whatever. So that's Boehner's philosophy. Now, Ted Cruz's philosophy, Ted Cruz is part Wall Street sellout and donor sellout, as we learned in great detail recently when he, after bashing Wall Street, he went to a fundraiser in New York City just before the New York primary where he begged Wall Street people for money. So he's part massive sellout, but then he's also part true Kool-Aid drinker. And this is the aspect of Ted Cruz that a lot of people might overlook, which is that Ted Cruz is crazy enough to listen to Rush Limbaugh's radio show or Mark Levin's radio show or Glenn Beck and sit there the entire time and go, nailed it. And just listen and say, these guys are right. The United States of America is based on God and Christianity and the Bible. And Rush Limbaugh is right that liberals hate America. And, you know, it's true that money does equal free speech. He has given speeches before where he says, Democrats want to repeal the First Amendment. The ones who want to get money out of the political system, he's like, they want to repeal the First Amendment. What a gross, disgusting mischaracterization of what they're trying to do. But this is the kind of person he is. So he's part sellout and just part absolutely moronic, lunatic, backwards, far-right ideology-believing kook. And I think that since he's that mix, and since he is a true Kool-Aid drinker, Boehner looks at him like, you fucking rube, and he got in the way. So Boehner, for example, when he was Speaker of the House, what did Ted Cruz do? Do you remember this? He shut down the government. Like, I like how we forget about that, and that this guy's now number 2 on the Republican side running for the nomination. He shut down the government. Why? Because he was trying to repeal Obamacare. Well, John Boehner, look, nobody knows better than him, and I think he knew from day one that when he was trying to repeal Obamacare, it was all just an act to show the base, hey, we are fighting for what you want us to fight for, yeah. Because under Boehner, they did literally over 60 Obamacare repeal attempts. So Boehner does it, and he tried it in 1,000 different ways. Again, I think he knew it was window dressing, and he's just doing it as an act because he knew it wasn't going to get passed. But he said, okay, let's repeal it. Here's a bill to repeal it. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, let's defund it. Here's a thing to defund it. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, let's repeal it in name only and do a symbolic thing and, keep some of the provisions in place, but try to repeal it anyway. So all these different ways, over 60 times he tried to repeal it. Idiot Ted Cruz comes along because he's a true Kool-Aid drinker, and he goes, me, that's not enough. I'm going to do a fake filibuster, which wasn't a real filibuster, and just go up there and talk about how I will shut down the government in order to try to repeal Obamacare. So what did he do? He shut down the government. And it was shut for a while. And the economy lost billions of dollars. And how did it end? How everybody knew it was going to end. At the time, the Democrats had the Senate, and they had a Democratic president who could veto any kind of fucking legislation that would repeal it. He's not going to fucking sign off on the repeal of his signature accomplishment. So Ted Cruz does this whole thing acting like the president actually is going to do it and is going to get through. And at the end, of course, it didn't get through. And then he walks away with his tail between his legs. And John Boehner felt thoroughly embarrassed because along with knowing it wasn't going to work, he had people, his donors come to him and business leaders come to him and say, what the fuck are you doing with this guy? Corral this guy in, make this son of a bitch heal. What's he doing? The economy's losing billions of dollars. It's hurting our bottom line. We pay you guys. You're our bitches. And then this guy's going rogue and trying to repeal Obamacare, again, because he's partly a true Kool-Aid drinker. And so Boehner was feeling all this pressure from outside forces because he couldn't control Cruz when Cruz was trying to repeal Obamacare. Now, again, it gets a little more complicated because, of course, Cruz is in the Senate and Boehner was Speaker of the House, so he didn't really have control over him. But either way, he felt the pressure because a Republican politician went rogue. And he's supposed to be able to corral the Republican politicians and get them to do his bidding and, more importantly, the donors' bidding. And Ted Cruz, while he does the donors' bidding a lot, he's also a true Kool-Aid drinker, and he'll draw some red lines. So, for example, there might be there are a few big retailer stores that have passed rules like, okay, I don't want guns carried in my fucking store. And Cruz will stand with the idiots on the right. Nah, that's freedom to carry your fucking AR-15 in Target or whatever the fuck it is. He's that kind of guy where, if somebody says, actually Target did recently with a transgender bathroom policy. Yeah, we're just going to let trans people go whatever bathroom he wants. Cruz is the idiot who comes out and he's like, man, you can't do that. This is an attack on freedom and on biology. And you got to force them to go into the other bathroom. Me. We got to make everybody abide by Christianity. Me. Again, because he's part Kool-Aid drinker. So, I mean, I hate to say it, man. I really hate to say it. But if I had to pick sides in the Boehner-Cruz fight, I'm going Boehner. Boehner is still a loathsome, disgusting son of a bitch who totally sells out to the donors. But there's an aspect of him there that's cynical enough where he knows that, the Rush Limbaugh arguments and Beck arguments and stuff, apparently he knows on some level, this is just all fucking nonsense and Hollywood and pitching an ideology and trying to get ratings, and that's not real. Whereas I think Cruz, although he does sell out to donors too, like Boehner, he's got that part that's no, I also believe that. And he's been raised from when he was a kid with his fucking maniac dad telling him he's the Messiah and he's the chosen one. They literally said, Rafael Cruz, his dad, said on a radio show, a Christian show, no, I think that there was an angel that came down and spoke to Ted and said, you're going to run for president. He just says it like it's casual, like he's just discussing something normal. Yeah, an angel told my son he's going to be president. The fuck is wrong with you? That's craziness. So there's that angle of true believer to Ted Cruz that's super fucking scary, and even Boehner doesn't like it.